Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
Hey, it's the very good Dr. Glenn Livingston, and I am here again with Janet. How are you, Janet?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Janet and I started our session a week and a half ago or so, and we didn't quite have enough time. And so I asked Janet if she wanted to come back on and let me take her through a fuller session and help her with the questions that she had, or at least let her say what she wanted to say. So, Janet, can you remind the audience what we were talking about and what's been in your mind since then, and how can I help?
Sure. So I'm trying to figure out how to integrate eating according to my hunger with the rules, and they seem to be coming from a really different place. I can't get them to fit together.
Well, there's a reason for that. It's largely designed for people who feel like their hunger and full meter has been broken. And our approach is usually to develop some external measures that tell us when we should be eating and not eating and when to start and stop, and to do that for a couple of months until we begin to feel like we're more normalized and we've gotten the junk out of our system. There are many variations, and there are plans with extraordinarily simple rules, and there are plans with a lot of rules. And what we usually tell people to do is to work on their hunger and full meter, eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're full, and being more mindful, to work on that between the lines. And then if you want to rely more on eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full, as opposed to the rules, then you begin to back off on the rules. And see if the hunger and full meter takes over in the right way. So it kind of depends where you are, Janet.
Right.
I'm happy to help you do what you want to do.
Thanks for articulating it that way, because I think that's exactly where I am. I wouldn't have done this. I did the September intensive, and I had started from the book a little before that. So I certainly wouldn't have done this at the beginning. But I feel like now I'm ready for that step. I think that's right. It means letting go of some of the rules or changing my rules. And I think that that's exactly what I'm looking for help with.
So let's talk about the rules that are right now kind of like prostheses that are managing your hungry and full start and stop points.
Right.
Let's see if we need to adjust them or remove them, or what do we do?
Okay. So I think I have a pretty simple set of rules. And I have very few rules about quantities. From the beginning, I've kind of relied on myself to know when to stop. And so the main rule is eat 3 meals a day plus 1 optional snack. And then the other rules are like only eat sitting down and don't eat out of a package or a serving dish. So basically, put the food on a plate, figure out how much I think I want, put it on a plate, eat it, and then decide if I want more, but I don't limit. If I want more, I have more. And I think that that mostly works, but sometimes I'm hungry when it's not mealtime. So for example, I'll get very concrete. I have 3 rules. I don't eat after dinner. So if I have a snack, it's during the day. It's not after dinner. But sometimes I'm really hungry after dinner. So if at 11 o'clock at night before I go to bed, my rule says I don't eat, but I'm hungry. And so that's kind of where I'm feeling like I have to change the rule or say, you know what, it doesn't matter if that I'm hungry. I'm not going to starve. I can go to bed. and be hungry, and then I'll just eat a bigger breakfast. So these are the kinds of things I'm trying to figure out.
What would you prefer, and what are you trying to accomplish with it?
Well, I think one of the other things is I still want to lose quite a bit of weight. So I want to make sure that I'm like, I don't know if it's okay to eat at night. I just don't know.
You don't know if that will conflict with your weight loss goal.
Exactly. But I feel like I'm willing to experiment and find out. I think the other big goal is just a sort of personal goal. It's to rely on my inner signals and learn to trust myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a big value in a lot of my life. And this is just one area that I want to know that I can listen to my body and listen to what I need, and that it's not kind of undermining me.
So you'd like to do an experiment where you allowed a fourth meal or a second snack in the evening if your genuine hunger suggested that you did.
Right.
It's all right with you if your weight loss stalls a little bit or maybe even goes up, because you need this information, because you want to maximize your reliance on your own hunger signals. And without doing this experiment, you'll never know.
Unless there is some way to get the information without doing it, which I don't think there is, because there's so much information about how much you have to eat. I mean, even if I counted calories, which I don't want to do, it doesn't go one-to-one that this number of calories will guarantee that you lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
That's been my experience.
If you take a breath and you imagine experimenting with this for a month. So you adjust the rule to say you're allowed to have a snack before bed if you're hungry, if you're genuinely hungry. Maybe you have to pause and take a breath before you do it and ask yourself a certain question or fill out a hunger scale or something like that. But whatever it is, if you want to, you can have a fourth snack, and you come back in a month and you tell me how it goes. How did it go? What do you imagine happened?
I imagine that I would want it once in a while, but not too often. I would want that snack. And I hope that if I'm truly listening to my hunger, that it means I will continue to lose weight, because I won't eat in total more. I might eat less at breakfast, or I'm thinking I'm hungry at night because I'm not eating enough during the day. So that, in other words, if my body signals are trustworthy, it will all even out. That's what I hope.
And you think that they might be trustworthy after several months of not binging?
Right.
It's possible. Right. So, Janet, imagine it already happened. It's already been a month. And how does it feel in your body? Does anything feel different in your body in a month?
Physically? Mentally? Physically? Well,
both, but physically first.
Okay. Physically, well, I think if I continue to lose weight, I'll continue to feel better. I think if I stall, I mean, I have been stalled for the last few weeks, and I didn't panic. I just said, I need to solve this. So it didn't backfire.
And so when you imagine that it already happened, what does it feel like in your body?
I guess I don't really understand what you mean, other than on the weight loss side.
Do you feel confident? Do you feel in tune with yourself?
Yes. Oh, I was thinking of those as the mental part, but yes, I think that it would definitely strengthen this feeling of trusting myself and strengthen that inner voice that I'm trying to listen to.
And you might have lost weight, you might not have.
Right.
But you won't feel panicked about it.
Right. Right.
What reasons are there not to do this? What's the downside?
Well, I think it's because I have really accepted the idea that the rules should be objective, and this is not an objective rule. If I say I'm going to eat according to my hunger, nobody else can. Even if I said I'm going to think of a hunger scale and write down a number, nobody can evaluate that that's right.
That's true.
I think that that's been an important part of the rules up till now. So it's kind of saying I'm ready to step off that.
But wait a minute. A minute. You don't have any quantity limits. You can have as big a meal as you want to, and you've been doing that for months.
Right.
So this is just eating. I don't mean to be bludgeoning you.
No.
This is just adding one more potential snack or meal to the day. essentially with the same rules.
See, I think I'm skipping ahead. I think I'm using that meal in the evening as just an example, but I see it as a sort of gateway to just letting go. I mean, the ultimate goal is that I don't have this rule about 3 meals and one and maybe a second snack, but I just say, I'm going to eat when I'm hungry.
Well, your pig wants you to go to college before you go to kindergarten, right?
Yeah.
You've gotten great benefit from these rules so far. And it's understandable that you want to progress to something that gives you more freedom and relies more on your intuition. Everybody wants that. You're one of the few people that I support so aggressively to help with that. I find that most bingers want that too soon and are not really capable. And in fairness, that's not how I manage my own eating. I don't have quantity rules either, but I do have rules. And I don't have the goal of letting go of those rules. So just in full disclosure, I like my rules. They make me happy and I plan to keep them for life. But it's understandable what you want to do. A lot of people want to do that. I think that you can. I think you're the kind of person who can do that. Do you think we can consider it to be a pig squeal? The idea that we should just relinquish all the rules right now without doing a safe experiment first?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And that is usually my biggest pig squeal. It's about, I can do this, but what about the next thing?
Next thing doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, right. So that's a good reminder.
Eating is a present tense job. You can only eat right now.
Right.
Next thing doesn't matter.
Right.
Why else does the pig say that you can't do this?
That I'm kidding myself. That before I know it, I'm going to have a big ice cream sundae every single night in front of the TV, whether I'm hungry or not. But that's an old squeal. I've already dealt with that one.
Okay.
I'm actually not worried about it. I mean, I hear that, but it feels like an old voice. I'm not worried about it anymore.
Let's drain the pig of all of its energy, though. Let's get all the squeals on the table, and then we'll take care of them one by one.
I think another common squeal is like a who do you think you are? And I think when you said that this wouldn't work for most people on the program, I sort of hear like, well, then it's not going to work for you either. You're not better than everybody else.
I think it could work for some people, and I'm disputing it, and I really want to get it on the table. But I do think it can work for some people. And I have to say I'm experimenting with you a little bit because you really want to do this. I do think it can work, and I support it.
Okay, but I don't like rules. And I like to be the kind of person who, or my pig says, I'm the kind of person, the rules don't apply to me. You know, it's just the rebel in me thinking that I could just break all the rules.
And therefore, you're just going to binge.
Yep.
Binge and binge. That's what the pig says.
Yep. It's just going to lead me back to the beginning, to where I was 6 months ago.
Okay. Why else does the pig say that you can't do this? Can't add up to one snack at night if you really want to and you're hungry.
I think that I will gain weight, that I have this balance now and that I'll gain weight.
And therefore, you'll have to binge?
Well, therefore, I will have to give up on the program. That I will have discovered that this program actually doesn't work and I should just throw the whole thing out.
Give up on the whole program and then you can binge.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Okay, so let's look at these more carefully. When the pig says, who do you think you are? You think you're someone who the rules don't apply to. That's going to fail eventually. Then all the rules will go out the window and we can binge. What's wrong with that? Where's the lie in that?
Well, I think that I am following the rules. I mean, I'm not trying to throw all the rules out the window. I'm just making this modification.
You have the idea that these rules are like training wheels. You're modifying the training wheels so you can experiment with the possibility of taking the training wheels off someday.
Right.
And you're just experimenting and you're doing it safely.
Right.
Do you weigh yourself once a month, once a week?
Every day. Every day.
Okay. So if your weight starts going up, you'll be aware. And you could make an adjustment, right?
Right. Okay, I just heard another squeal.
Okay.
If my weight starts going up and then I'll have to adjust this, then I'll be really angry because I won't get to do what I want to do.
Okay, you'll be angry and it will fail.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I guess no, it's not true because I've been doing this all along. So if I discovered that extra little bit of food, if I started gaining weight, I would do something different. I would go back to what I'm doing now, or less at some other meal or something. I would fix it.
I mean, a reasonable person who's doing experiments to try to accomplish something wouldn't say, well, the first experiment was a total failure, so therefore this can't possibly work.
Right. And I feel like I now have a really solid many months history of following these rules. And so I know I can. And of not panicking if something doesn't work out, or if I gain some weight or don't lose weight. I don't panic.
You have a good set of training wheels.
Yeah.
Phase 1 accomplished.
Right.
Phase 2 is figuring out how we take them off.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Slowly but surely.
Mm-hmm. And you put it that way, you're right. I guess it's a little scary.
What's scary?
Well, in just exactly the same way of taking the training wheels off. It's a little scary to do that first bike ride without the training wheels.
Yeah. And when I did that, I remember being fairly terrified. But my grandpa was right there next to me. And he was holding the handlebars, and I only rode for a couple of feet without the handlebars on. And he was running alongside me. And the thing here is you're going to be running alongside yourself.
Right.
And the analogy is that you've got the rules if you need them.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And my experience with any rule that I've added or changed is that I'm always scared before I change the rule, because what I had before was working well.
Do you save a copy of what's working well before you change it?
I have all the food plans.
Yeah. That's something I learned in my advertising days. Advertising is very sensitive. One mistake and the sales stop coming in. And so when we would write an advertising piece that worked, we were always trying to do better, but we had to protect the piece that worked. And so we would run a test. Half of the letters, we'd call it the control, the set of things that worked. And then the other half, we would change the headline, or we would change some of the advertising copy. And that was the test. And honestly, 3 out of 4, the test didn't work. But we never had to worry too much about doing worse than the control, because we could always go right back to the control. We called it Beat My Control. And through that procedure, you could stair step your way up to a better response. Occurs to me that's what you're doing. Your control is 3 meals a day with a snack in between. You don't have quantities. You are trusting your instincts in a lot of ways. And now you want to do a test where you add a snack at night if you want it. And it's less likely you're going to have it than one of your 3 meals. So I think that's why it's a little more nerve-wracking.
Right.
A little more reliant upon your internal signals. But you really want this, Janet. This is something you really want. You don't want these rules forever. You want them to be training wheels. And so you got to go through that period where you let go of the handlebars a little bit. And we're just designing the grandpa that makes you safe.
Right. Right. That's exactly right. That makes a lot of sense.
When the pig says you're totally kidding yourself, before you know it, you're going to be having a big bowl of ice cream every night. Is that true?
If you had asked me that a year ago, I would have said yes. And I think part of that is acknowledging that that is no longer true. And I have really changed.
How so? How do you know that?
Because what I've been doing, the changes I've made in my eating and in my life since I started this program, they're just different than any other changes I've made in my life. It's different than any other time I've attempted to lose weight or develop new habits. It's just transformative, but it's kind of believing that that's a real transformation and it's not just a fluke.
What are the facts? How long have you been doing this differently than the rest of your life?
Let's say since September.
About 6 months. And had you ever implemented a dietary change that you were able to maintain for 6 months like this before?
Probably not. Not for this long.
And is there a difference in the quality of mind that you have while you're going through this in this last 6 months?
Completely. Night and day.
Articulate that if you could. What is it?
I feel like I've just internalized a lot of these ideas as opposed to following some plan for as long as I can. And I think you use the term white knuckling until I give up. And I think that that's been true of a lot of health related changes I've made in my life, whether it's diet or trying to exercise or trying to get in good routines to meditate every day or anything like that. I've never stuck with them.
So this is the first time that you haven't white knuckled it.
Right.
So when the pig says, who are you kidding? This is just like every other time. You can say this is both longer lasting and more stable than anything I've ever done because I'm not white knuckling it.
Right.
Okay.
And I think the fact that it's spilled over to other areas of my life makes me realize that it's a bigger change than I'm just controlling what I eat. It's just a whole mindset change.
Mm-hmm. Did we miss any of the squeals? I think we got them all.
I think we got them all. Yeah.
How confident are you feeling that you can adjust your plan for a month, do an experiment, and eat 3 meals a day with 1 snack in between and a possible snack at night if you want it and you're hungry?
The only thing I'm not confident is that I'm not going to want to give it a month, and I have to think about whether I need to. I'm going to do it for a week, and then I'll say, oh, that's fine, and then go on to the next thing.
Sounds good.
Is that all right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He's using a month because I wanted to see how your fears would play out.
Mm-hmm.
I think a week is even safer.
Okay. Yeah.
Janet, do you have any questions or concerns?
No, this was really helpful. I really appreciate it.
Terrific.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much for your help. You did a great job.
Thanks.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thanks, man. Thanks. You did too. You did too.
Thanks. All right. Take
talk to you
care.
then.
Okay,
Okay.
bye-bye.
Bye.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. That's defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. Thanks.